Okay, so welcome to this course. This is a Python basic course. So welcome to Python introduction course. If um, you have never been trained on Python, this is your first class on Python and the right place. So before we go into the course, let me introduce myself. So meet the tech trainer. So I've trained for machine learning, data science, and also for Python. Of course, the primary language for machine learning and data science is Python. I've trained in a World Bank sponsored projects, and I've trained hundreds of talent in AI. I'm also a senior trainer for LX Academy. So I'll be taking you through this course, just this basic Python course. All right. So this course is going to cover just the basics. So that at the end of this course, you should be able to write Python code, and you should also be able to use Python um, IDEs. So when we say IDEs, what exactly do we mean by IDEs? Um, because you're going to be using IDEs. So IDE means what? Integrated Development Environment. There are different IDEs out there. That's the environment where you write the Python code and you're able to run it. So we have VS Code, all right? We have PyCharm, and many of them PyCharm, right? PyCharm. We have Jupyter. We're going to be using Jupyter so that you can see your code per line. All right. So to download your Jupyter, you just go straight to your google.com and just type Jupyter Notebook, Jupyter Notebook. So it's right here. So once you download, you install it, you go to your system, you type Jupyter, you should be able to open it, and you click it and it opens. And once it opens, it takes you to this interface. It uses a browser, so any of the browser in your laptop is going to use that. So if you want to save it on your desktop, you click on desktop, it opens your desktop. If you have a particular folder you want to save it, go ahead and save it on that folder. But I just want to keep it on desktop, so I can go ahead and come to new and say Python 3. So it opens the interface of Jupyter. So once the interface is open, right about now, you can see we have the we have the Jupyter notebook here open. So you can give it a name. Let's say intro to Python. I often don't like to put space in my document naming because as a programmer, you avoid having spacing in your naming. Just can use underscore. All right, so the environment is set to start typing. But before we start typing, let's look through some of the basic concepts of Python. So what is Python? We say Python is a high level programming language. It's a high level. So the word high level simply tells you it's not low level. Low level is when you have, remember the times you have 0, 1, you are using code like computer based kind of um, um, language to communicate. But this one is just a basic readable, like English language syntax. You just write and you're able to display. Okay, it was released in 1991 by Guido van Rossum. And so that's why Python is quite relatable. It's one of the programming language that is much easier to understand. So in every programming language, not only Python, we have what's called variables, we have data types, we have basic operation. So variables are like containers. So what is a variable? A variable is a storage location. So every time you make a declaration, you 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 can put it inside a container called variable, identified by a variable name where you can store a value. So we are going to see it practically, but just to lay the conceptual foundation. So data types, the type of data that a variable can hold. We have different data types. We have strings. We have integers. Integers, you are talking about numbers. We have floats. Floats are point values, like decimal points values. Strings, I call it human language. That's text. Strings are human language text. Human communicate with text. It's not a it's not a machine language. That's why every time you are declaring a text, you put a text inside quotation marks. Then booleans is when you have a true or false um, scenario. So a string is a sequence of characters enclosed in quotes. That's what I just said. So because they are text, you need to enclose them in quotes. Enclose them in quotes. All right. So basic operation, just like you have your mathematics, we have arithmetic operations. You can perform different arithmetic operations, just like your plus, your subtraction, multiplication. This is the sign. Division, you have the symbol. Modulus is simply remainder. When you're interested in the remainder, you have 7 over 3. So if you have a modulus of um, 7 modulus 3, the answer will be 1. So exponential, you use double star. Then floor division. Floor division and division, the difference simply is that the floor division will remove the decimal points, while the division is going to give you the whole the divisor, or the whole division fraction that is given as a result of that. All right, so let's go to the IDEs and see how that works. All right, okay, so we have our IDE here. Okay, so first of all, let's print our first programming language in Python. Like you want to display hello world. Every time you want to display something in the terminal using Python, you use the word print in small letter, not capital letter. Also take note that Python is case sensitive. Because Python is case sensitive, i- if I declare this variable, if I say fruits and fruits, these are not the same. This and these are not the same. It sees this one different as this. That's what I mean by case sensitive. Case sensitive. So the capital letter is seen differently as a different variable. So first of all, let's see how we can display welcome to Python. All right. So if you have your print, can just quickly. So once you have your print function, you have your open brackets. So I want to print a text. I put inside quotation mark. You can use double quotation mark. You can use single quotation mark. There could be scenario where you have to use um, single quotation mark. For example, now let's say welcome to Python. So if you run this, come here, you run it. You see, it gives you. You're supposed to see the result here. Okay, maybe the ID is not the the browser is not. Let's use another browser. Sometimes you have things like that. Let me see. I think I have Opera Mini here. Use another browser. So sometimes you could have some browser not running your application. So you use another browser. Okay, let me see. I think I have some already. Okay, so let me. So let's use this Opera Mini browser. You could have some difficulties with some browsers, so you can change it. Um, I just downloaded that browser and I've not used it before. So, okay. So another way, if your Jupyter is giving you issue, you can also use Cloud Jupyter. That's another way. You can use Cloud Jupyter Notebook. Okay, so your Cloud Jupyter Notebook has Google Colab. You can use Google Colab. Okay, let me just type Colab. Okay, so Google Colab. So that's another cloud-based, works like Jupyter, where you can run your Python code. Okay, so let me just search this. Okay, all right. So, okay, if that doesn't work, still, let's use VS Code. So you can also download VS Code. Okay, you go to VS Code. Come here, you can download your VS Code. VS Code. All right, you download and you install. After you download and install, also download your Python. Also download Python. Python. All right, you install the latest Python. So when you install your latest Python, all right, you can then use your VS Code. So let's use VS Code. There are different IDs. So if you're having issues with any ID, you change it to another ID. I mean that's why you need to have options. Okay, so let's use VS Code now. So for VS Code, before you can use VS Code, you need to create a folder. So let's create a folder we are going to use. Create a folder on your desktop. Let me close this. Create a folder on your desktop. So let me close this, giving me issues. Okay, I can see. Um, Let me close this. All right, so you can as well. So let's close this. All right, so you create a folder. Create a folder here on the desktop. So the folder you can call it. Maybe let's call it Py intro, right? Let's call it Py intro. It's a Py intro. Enter. So you can open it from here. Right click. You can open it with VS Code. If you right click and you can't see VS Code on it, on the folder, not a problem. You can as well open it right here. If you come to File, in case you right click on the folder, you can't see VS Code, just come to File, you see Open Folder. Just click on Open Folder and go to the location where the folder is. You just click on the folder. This is desktop. So this is Py intro. Once you click on it, do not open it. Just select folder and you should be able to come. It will be exactly where we are now. So this is the page. Let's close this. All right. All right. So now we want to write our first Python code. Um, you create, once you have opened your folder, this is the directory. Now you have a directory to work with. You can new file, click on new file. If you look at this icon here, the first one is file, the next one is folder. So I want to create a new file as a Python file. Every Python file must end with .py, ends with .py. So what do? I can say this is app.py, enter. So now I have my environment. Okay, I have my environment. So the new interface of VS Code also have AI integrated. So you want to chat with AI, you can go ahead and just chat here, and it gives you some, you can generate some code for you. But we're not going to do that because we are just starting up. Let's go straight to, so we wanted to print, uh, so wanted to print our first programming language. So let's say welcome, welcome to, welcome to Python. All right, so let's run it. You see the play there? Run it, right? So once you, okay, we are supposed to save it. Once you see this white ball here, make sure you save it. That means you've not saved. Control S to save, or you can go to your edit, you save it, or you go to your file, and let's run it now. So once you click on run, you should be able to see it in the terminal. So what print does is that it brings your output to the terminal for users to be able to see it, and you yourself will be able to see um, what you've run. So I was talking about when you have, um, at what point do you need to use quotation mark, double quotation mark, and single quotation mark. Either one can work. Either one can work. And the only difference that is that if you are going to use, if you are going to use apostrophe inside the quotation mark, apostrophe inside the quotation mark, you use this, you use double instead of single. So if I use this, if I say something like print, I say print, what am I printing now? Print, maybe something like, I want to print, I want to print my my money, okay, is, my money is, okay, let's say something like it's, okay, it's, okay, something like it's mine, okay, it's, so you are seeing apostrophe here, we have it's mine, right? So you can see that we now have, let me expand the terminal. So you can see the first one we ran. Let me close this first. So you can see the first one we ran, can see it tells us, yeah. So let's run this. I see welcome to Python. I see that gives you welcome to Python. So you can see at the terminal. So this one now, you can see it's mine. I'm using double quotation mark. If I print it, it's still going to print, but that is the right way to print it. You know, that's the right way to print it. All right. But if you now use print, if you then use single quotation mark, you know that is going to conflict with the inner apostrophe. Okay, there's a confusion there. So that's the only condition where you may need to prioritize double quotation mark over single quotation mark. So that's just it. I needed to clear that because it's always can cause confusion when running your code. All right, so now that our terminal is running, um, now that we have our terminal running, so let's create our first variable. So always have your comment. You can have your comment in Python. Okay. When you say variables, what are comments? Comments are not executable code. All right. Okay, you can see because of the new features of VS Code, it's already giving me suggestions. So I want to name some variables and print them. So for example, now if I say fruits, okay, fruits, for example, now is equals to um, orange is text, so I put it inside quotation mark. Fruits, now say fruits two. Do not avoid using capital letter for your variable, and then say fruit two maybe apple. Okay, then I can as well, if I want to I want to see orange in the terminal, I'm going to print the container fruits. Okay, I'm going to print the container fruits. So if I print the container fruits, it's going to give me fruits. So in this case, I don't want to run everything. So I can put the upper side in comments. All right. I don't want to run everything at once. So I can turn this on to comments. If you want to have line comments, you can put 3 quotation marks up and to the point where you want to stop it. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so those ones have become comments. They are not going to run. So if I run this now, I'm just going to see orange. All right. So you check the terminal now, you can see we see orange is right here in the terminal. All right. Okay. So orange is right there in the terminal. All right. So now, so if I want to do what is called concatenation. Now this fruit, now if I don't want it to just be orange, I don't want it to just be orange here. If I want to say something like this is an orange, I can add strings here when I'm printing it. Put quotation mark and separate it with comma, and I say this is, and I put space there. Let me close that space so you can see the difference. So once you run it, so what do you see? You can see this is an orange. All right. So now I want to do what is called concatenation. Concatenation is when you join. Concatenation is when you join strings together. So what I want to do, I want to join orange and apple. So I can have another variable. I can say something like all underscore orange. Make your container descriptive. Make it descriptive. All orange. As I want to now have fruits plus fruits 2, right? Fruit 2. Okay, fruit 2. So in this case now, these two words can be joined. These two words can be joined. Now do you join that? If you can, I can print this by saying, okay, by saying print all orange. So if I run this now, you see you're going to have, after you've had the upper one, this is an orange, then orange apple. You can see this orange apple, there is no space there. You can see there is no space here. So to create space, it's either you add space here. You can say, okay, let's have plus, another plus, and add strings, all right, and separate it. So if you run it now, that will serve as space. Should be able to space that. So now you can see orange, orange apple. All right. Okay, so you can clear your terminal by using CLX to clear your terminal. All right. So now, if you are if you are going to if you are declaring a variable that contains number like 20, 30, you are not going to put the number in text. The numbers are not in text. Let's say num2 num2 is equals to 20. So I can simply say that so I want to add. So addition is equals to, if I say num plus num2, by the time print, I should be able to have my result as what? 50. Okay, result as 50. So you can see 50. So I may have to cut out these other ones so that we can have a cleaner. So I can remove this quotation marks here, take it down, 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 so that we can have here quotation marks ends here, so that we can only print the current codes. Okay, so you can see now we have 50. So LX. So now you can add and say the addition of num1 and num2 is, and say the addition of num and num2 is. So if you run that now, you should be able to see it in the terminal. See the addition of num and num2 is 50. Great. So we're making great progress. So you can see how you use numbers in arithmetic. If you want to make a multiplication, just like the symbols I showed you. Okay, so let's look at modulus. Let's say 20 modulus 30 modulus 20, that should be 10. So let's see modulus equals to num1 modulus 2. If you print this, print the modulus of num and num2 is this. If you print it, you see the modulus of num and num2 is 10. You can see that. So that's modulus. So let's see, I was trying to explain floor division and division. So let's see the difference between floor division. So if I say, okay, let's do this way. I will need something like 7/3. Let me change this to 7. 7. Let's change this to 3 so that I want to see normal division. Okay, division equals to num1 divided by this. So you can as well print directly. You can put your prints in front here and say print and close it here. Once you print it, you should be able to see. Okay. Division is an invalid keyword argument for print. Print. Okay, okay, okay. Okay. Yeah, let's print the variable. Okay, because the declaration is coming together with it. So let's say, yeah. So let's just print. Let's print. Let's print the division of this and this is this. So we're going to see with the decimal point. That was the point I was trying to prove the other time. And see the division of number this. You see with decimal point. So let's say floor division. Perhaps you don't want the points. So we say floor division. Okay. So in this floor division, if you print it, let's see, we should have just two, right, without the decimal points, right? Okay, you can see the floor division of number num and num2 is um is 2. You can see that, right? So at what point do we have boolean? So let's see boolean. Boolean is when you have something as true. So let's take this off, turn it to comments 1, 2, 3, so that I'll be able to. So when let's say something like is good, something is good. Let's say that is true. You say that is true. So is what is called data type. If you want to check the data type, you can. So it's true now. If you print, so is good. So okay, you have is bad. So this is declaration of Boolean. When you declare a variable as true or false, you are able to declare it as Boolean. So if you do an if condition, for example, now, so it's very useful when you do when you are doing an if condition. You can set condition as true, and you are able to use it to run. So when that condition is true, the code should run. Okay, so that's very, very useful. All right. So with this background, we should be able to. So let's um let's now write a simple Python that will welcome somebody, maybe your name. So let's say something like name is equals to, let's say my name dot spell. Okay, all right. Now say surname. Okay, the surname is more. Then I want to have a welcome message. I can say something like can say something like welcome. So I can print and say and say and say welcome, welcome. Then welcome. I can have my name and surname together. So what do we have here? You can say welcome Gatsulumo. Okay. Say welcome Gatsulumo. All right. So those are data types and how you use them in Python. And with this understanding, you'll be able to create variables, and you can also run basic Python. You can be creative. There's something like a question. Maybe you need to attempt this question. We need to attempt this question. Let's have it as a comment. Okay. Write and run, write and run. Okay, sorry, need to put that as a comment. So write and run, write a program that takes the user's name and age and print out a message saying hello, then your name, you are, then your age, and then so you can see that you can try this out. Write a program that takes the user's name and age and prints out a message saying hello,